can you do so in a way that reflects those things that you wrote down about yourself? You know, do your motives also reflect that? And obviously that's for you to be able to decide. And that's where we all need to be able to ask for answers.
Well, at first, like even after I like said that to her, like I'm sorry, a couple of times after I saw them, I was just like, you know, I still was.
Grumble.
Yeah, I was kind of upset still, but I don't know, it's kind of just fate telling me it, which is not very good, but now I'm there, and so.
Awesome, thank you. Parker, you had something, and then we'll go to the test.
I just was thinking about this. This whole thoughts and feelings. I grew up, my dad always taught me, son, the thought is the father of the deed. The thought is the father of the deed. Anything you think, your actions will portray that. And I sit here looking at this diagram, and this whole idea of us betraying ourselves, who we are, I think well, I know that a great deal of that comes from extrinsic things around you. You know, the people that you surround yourself with, and the places or situations that you put yourself in. It really affects this whole process. And when you see people being, you know, kind and being, I guess I'm having a hard time explaining this. So for example, at the end of last semester, I wrote a paper on social media. And I found in my research that a lot of the time, the reason why people go to social media, whether they're aware of it or not, is to get positive enlightenment from posts or stories of things that people have done, cool places that people visit. It's all this positive enlightenment and this positive, oh man, that person's doing that and that's so cool, or I'm glad that that person feels like this today. But what it does to you is it causes you to be more frustrated at yourself because you start to compare the way you are with those people. But the danger of that is that social media doesn't always allow you to see who that person really is and the negative things that they have also in their life, the human side of them. And I just think it's interesting, this whole thoughts and feelings, because a lot of the time that is generated and people get frustrated because you're not who you want to be. But you see attributes in other people and you just think, man, that person's just good and they don't have any problems in their life, and I'm comparing myself to them and I'm frustrated now, so I'm going to get mad at them. And that's my thought, and now I'm betraying who I am, and I'm betraying that person and who they are, because now I'm labeling them and I'm mad at them because they are perfect and I'm not.
Interestingly, we make ourselves a victim, which is another betrayal, deception, self-deception, which is really quite interesting. I know people who go to the internet also to social media, Facebook, to also just help build a justification. They'll rant or they'll want to complain, and that often people will get a justification, and but it's a justification against. It justifies their own poor behavior, but it helps them live the lie, so to speak. So it's interesting. Tyson, you had something?
We brought up something that kind of gave me an aha moment, and the whole relationships are tough, but relationships also kind of model who we are. Let me tell you a little story here. Years ago, I had a girlfriend that I was very, I guess I was very prideful of, and the aha moment was, oh my goodness, what did I do? I had her meet some friends and stuff like that, and they started hitting on her, and they were being all flirtatious with her, and I really didn't like it. I know I was young and I was naive and stuff like that, and I really hope I would have more wisdom if it happened today. But because of that one instance, I kept her secret. I kept her kind of in my own little like thing, in my little world that I felt like I could control. She was in Florida, I would be in Utah, and she'd fly in every so often. And I would not tell my friends until after she'd come and gone, and I disappeared from a couple days, and I'd gone up and I'd seen this old friend of mine, and we were really good friends and stuff like that. But the aha moment is all that effort of keeping things secret, or doing this, or telling people about, oh, this great person that comes in and flies in and blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at me, yay. It could have been so much different if I wasn't portraying myself from the very get-go. And that's really what I was doing, as I was stopping her from finding friends that I had, or me finding friends that she had. I was doing things that was portraying myself and for her. And all the effort, and I think that's kind of the moral of the story of this one is, are we spending too much effort on things that we really don't have to spend? Are we making life more complicated than it really has to be? Can life be really simple and just kind of just the way it perfectly is?
Can it be reflected in what you've written down on that piece of paper? And that's the question. Any other comments? Appreciate that. Comments or questions, Bryce?
I have a lot of extremely talented friends, and last year I moved in with one of them, and like I just started getting so jealous of him. Like all of his talents are like very noticeable. Like he's a whiz on any musical instrument. Like he plays the piano, he composes his own music, he sings beautifully. Like he's amazing. And he's outgoing, he's talented. And I just found myself getting happier and happier, and I get jealous of him. And I start fault finding with him, and like trying to drag him down, or like trying to see that see that he's human in a sense, you know. Like I was just so jealous of him, and he's a wonderful guy. Like he's one of my best friends. But at the time I was just so I was so against him. But I realized it was because I didn't have a good opinion of myself at the time, and I didn't really know my own worth. It's something I'm still discovering, which is kind of cool. But I didn't really know my own worth, and like I started comparing myself to him, to how he was. And, like if I wasn't as good as him, then like I just wasn't good enough. But like I realize now it's not like that. I'm like sometimes like I just have to compare myself to who I was yesterday. And I just have to like tell myself that I'm of worth, because I am. And sometimes, like even now, like I'll get into a room, like not offenders, like people who are really cool, and then like especially if the girls involved, but like I'll start getting jealous, and like I'll start fault finding the person, but then fortunately like I can recognize that. I can recognize the early signs of that, and I'll be like, no, Harper, you're just getting jealous, like, let them shine, because as they shine, you can shine too, sort of thing. And it really is, it's truth. Like, as you give other people permission to be authentic and to shine, like, you're allowing your own candle, your own flame to burn brighter, and like, then everyone just like shines together, like, synergy. But like, I don't know, it's just so interesting, like, how like we project our emotions on other people, and like, if I feel uncomfortable in a situation, I automatically assume that it's their fault, or like, well, actually I think it's my fault, but like, I think like they must be a jerk, and like they must not like me, or like, I don't know, it's just interesting, like the whole self-awareness issue and factoring, like how it really does affect us, and how like this is a simple paradigm shift can really, really change your life.
And that's really, I mean, going back to one of the primary objectives of this class, about self-awareness, it's very difficult to lead others when we're not very aware of ourselves. And I've, over the last year or so, 8 months, I've really learned a lot about myself. And it's been very helpful. You go through those difficult challenges. But that's really what this is about. I mean, if we can become more self-aware, we can become, without getting self-absorbed. Because that's another self-betrayal. We get so self-absorbed because we get into that lie. And we keep telling ourselves the lie. And it's like, as you were saying that, Bryce, it's like, here's your roommate, here's you, here's the box that we talked about. It's like, oh, that stupid guy, oh, he's so talented, I've got, it's, that straight arrow is the real roommate, and yet it's almost like our heartbeat or something, but we distort that, we try to, it's interesting, just to help ourselves project back on ourselves.
And in reality, I was tearing myself down. So but I thought like trying to tear him down, like I don't know, somehow equalize it. But in reality, like I would tear myself down, and like I to this day I still feel horrible about it because I love the guy, and like I know he's not perfect, but like I realized like how we're kind of all in this together, and like kind of like I was saying the whole candles analogy. As I help him to grow and as I help him to shine, he helps me in return. And I consider him one of my mentors. Like he's a great guy.
So one last thought, then we'll take a break. So there's a risk in going down this path and by identifying the ways we betray ourselves. But with the answer is also found with what we've been talking about. We could get to a point where we feel so guilty. It's like, I am junk. It's like Mark is like, man, I am the worst. That was the quote that you said. Okay, and we can dwell on that, and a lot of people do, especially in this very perfectionist, OCD environment. Good people. It's like, oh man, I am really bad. I'm a bad person. No. Another lie would be to say that we're not responsible for our own emotions. Say, yeah, okay, I made some mistakes, but I'm still responsible and I have control over me. And so as we go down that path, that